Entrepreneurship has very deep linkage with the concept of locus of control. It has been a proven hypothesis that successful entrepreneurs have an extraordinarily strong internal locus of control. This implies that they believe that it is their self-efficacy or self-belief that is primarily responsible for the results that they get in their lives. Conversely, it is assumed that those who believe that their life events are largely determined and influenced by external factors such as luck, fate, or supernatural powers have less chance to succeed as entrepreneurs. On the face of it, both these conclusions appear logical, but a deeper analysis reveals something different. I would like to analyze the role of faith and religious beliefs on our locus of control and consequently on our ability to be an entrepreneur. In times of extreme stress and life-threatening situations, people tend to rely on blessings from above or supernatural powers to get moral support, moral and spiritual support. We have seen this happening during famine, drought, extreme flooding, or natural disasters. In India, in the southern state of Tamil Nadu, it is an annual ritual to perform community prayers in temples to propitiate gods for bountiful rains. Equally, it is quite common in India for the parents, the mothers, fathers, to seek blessings for the children who are having their annual examination. Many Indian families prefer to maintain a contractual relationship with their chosen God. Offerings are subject to realization of their wants and desires. Religious coping happens when one's religion is a source through which critical life situations and stressors are dynamically processed and understood. This is truer when people have no control or seem to believe that they have no control on the situation. The present stressful context of the pandemic highlights this phenomenon starkly. As of now, there is no vaccine. Our normal ways of travel, working, schooling have been dramatically altered. There is no clear path ahead visible. All these stressors are forcing people to cope, and religion and religious beliefs come in very handy. Religious beliefs and faith help reduce depression and feeling of hopelessness significantly. Our research on a project in Bangladesh has revealed some interesting facts. We were working with farmer entrepreneurs who came from lower socioeconomic strata. While all male farmers scored high on entrepreneurship, they also scored low on internal locus of control. This implied that they were deeply religious and fatalistic, but they were successful entrepreneurs. Now, a bit of the context about Bangladesh. It is one of the most, as we all know, most populous country in South Asia. Most of the population follows Muslim faith and they speak Bengali, which is the national language. Bangladesh is now widely recognized to be one of the countries most vulnerable to climate change. Over the course of a century, 500 plus cyclones have affected the Bay of Bengal region, 17% of which are believed to have caused landfall in Bangladesh. Natural hazards that come from increased rainfall, rising sea levels, and tropical cyclones are expected to increase as the climate changes, each seriously affecting agriculture, water, and food scarcity, in addition to human health and shelter. As per one estimate, by 2050, a 3 feet rise in sea levels will inundate some 20% of the land in Bangladesh and displace more than 35 million people. To address the sea level rise threat in Bangladesh, the Bangladesh Delta Plan 2100 has been launched. There is evidence that earthquakes pose a threat to the countries and that plate tectonics have caused rivers to shift course suddenly and dramatically. It has been shown that rainy season flooding in Bangladesh and even in certain parts of India on the world's largest river delta can push the underlying crust down by as much as 8 centimeters and possibly perturb faults. Bangladeshi water is frequently contaminated with arsenic because of the high arsenic content of the soil. Up to 77 million people are likely to be exposed to toxic arsenic from drinking water. Entrepreneurs involved in agriculture routinely face the onslaught, as I mentioned, of floods due to cyclone affecting their plants seriously. And it is here that faith and religiosity come into play its part. Propitiating Allah through prayers 5 times a day is a way to reduce the stress and derive moral courage to get back to work. By praying in a group, which is a normal practice in Muslim community, they make the mosque as the reflectors of hope and faith and derive spiritual energy which helps them overcome the anxiety and stress. And that explains the fact that despite having external locus of control, the farmer entrepreneurs from Bangladesh are very good in their business, and therefore we call them as champion entrepreneurs. The results obtained in our study prompted me to study how the entrepreneurs use religion and faith to solve their problems. A problem-solving style represents a pattern of coping styles that tends to be consistent across a variety of situations. It appears that there are 3 main religious problem-solving styles. First, self-directing, second, differing, and the third, collaborative. These styles differ from one another in terms of responsibility and activity. In the self-directing style, the farmer takes responsibility for resolving the problems and he or she takes an active stance towards solving the problem. In the differing style, the farmer places the responsibility for resolving the problem onto God or Allah and takes a passive role while waiting for God or Allah to solve the problems or for a solution to emerge naturally. Finally, in the collaborative style, and this is important, in the collaborative style, the individual perceives himself or herself sharing the responsibility for problem solving with God, and both take an active role in solving the problem. The transactional model of coping with the stress by liaising with the God or Allah is one way of developing self-efficacy, and that has been the great insight obtained through the project. In sum, people are faced with stressful situations throughout their lives. Therefore, it is important to understand how people cope with stress. Understanding the role that religion plays in coping could be of benefit to behavior economists in their understanding of entrepreneurship in a situation which seemingly appears beyond control. Thank you very much.